All right, welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today I'm joined by Ben Easton from the band Deary. Ben,
Hello.
how we feeling over there across the pond?
We're good, man. We're really good. Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks until the album comes out, so we're all pretty buzzed, man.
I love it. I love it. When you have like kind of this release coming out later, later on, and you're doing a lot of pub for it, like how much of the songs, how long have the songs been finished? Like what's the you know kind of timeline here for this particular album?
I mean, the songs have been finished since our final mixing session was in October. Um, so yeah, packaged it up and it's kind of a bit crazy that it takes 6 months to put it all out, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was ready about 6 months ago. Um, but yeah, I mean the songs all kind of started in different ways, different timelines, and it all just sort of comes together with a lot of hard work and a lot of hair pulling sometimes, you know.
I can see that. I can see
Yeah.
that. Well, what for you guys, like when you're sitting on the songs for so long, like what is that like? Like are y'all touring in the meantime? Like since October, have y'all been going out and it's like, all right, we're gonna, play a few and test, or is it getting kind of quiet? Like what's that been like?
It's been fairly quiet. So we did a lot of touring last year. Sort of halfway through the creation of the record, we went on like a month of festivals.
Yeah.
So we did a few in the UK. We did one out in Sicily in Italy, which was pretty special. And that kind of broke up the recording process that started in June. And then yeah, since October, our bassist, who we were working with last year, had to leave. So we've been basically getting a new band together since October. So we've
Oh
got two
wow.
new guys come in, Alice and Nick on bass and guitar, and yeah, we've just basically been um, rehearsing, getting everything up to speed, new songs in, and yeah, going to start road testing them in a few weeks.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny, like, the delay. I always wonder about the delay because it's like at this point now, do you like not that you don't like the songs, but it's like, you
Mm.
spent so much time making them and then you got to sit on them for so long and then you're like, man, like, all right, like now we finally get to like show them to the world. And it's just like, it's all old hat for you at this point. You probably moved on and written 10 songs since the last time had to.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because we're not the kind of band that goes into a rehearsal room and like jams tunes out.
Sure.
We kind of do it a little bit more methodically, individually at home. It means that when we do eventually bring them into the live room, it means that we're not bored of them because we haven't actually played them
Got
properly as a band yet. So yeah, we had a session 2 weeks ago. We have got a session uh, this weekend coming. And yeah, that'll be like the fourth or fifth time that we played these songs live. So it's like it's still pretty fresh, even though the songs
it.
we've
Yeah.
had for a number of months and years. Um, which I think adds to the kind of excitement of it all. The tunes sound like they do on the record, but then there's little bits that are only for live. You know, it's kind of yeah, it's continually exciting. But you're right, we do when there is a bit of downtime, you can't help but just write some more stuff. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, I want to dive in. You mentioned y'all's process and kind of it being independent. So was that the same for Seabird and Alfie, the two singles that are out now, like for this particular album?
Yeah, pretty much. Seabird started life in 2023, I think, something like that. Just found some chords, found some drum samples that I was really keen on, and yeah, we sort of with most of the tunes that we work on, we have an initial idea. I'll send that idea out to Dottie, and Dottie will go, yeah, yeah, it's cool, man. And if her response to that is not, oh my God, this is amazing, well, maybe if it's a bit lukewarm, I'll kind of put it in the pile and go, maybe we'll
Yeah.
dig that out sometime. And yeah, so we first had that what was going to become Seabird in 2023, and sometimes it takes like a year, 2 years for us to forget about a certain demo, a certain track, then bring it back up, and then go, oh shit, actually that had something in it. So um, yeah, when we were first looking at the album, I think we all knew that was one that was gonna make it. So and then Alfie was a lot later, but still, again, it starts with an idea, a voice note. Dottie will send me over a chord and go, oh, I really want to use this chord in the tune. And then I'll, yeah, spend hours and days making a kind of demo and then send it back.
Mhm.
And then the guys usually have a lot of notes, and then we go from there.
Yeah. Now, Alfie's about, if I've read social media right now, correct me if I'm wrong, is it about a dog that passed away recently?
It is and it isn't. So it's
Okay.
basically, um, I think Dottie wanted to do something maybe a little bit simpler in terms, like some of the subject matter on the album is quite heavy and it's quite dark, and I think that she's of the opinion, and I agree as well, that sometimes like you just want to, you know mirror everything that's going on in your life as opposed to answering like big questions and all that kind of stuff. And so we sort of, as a placeholder, were like, oh, maybe it could be about like a dog and childhood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a few months later, my family dog passed away, and she was 15, so she
Oh,
had a
wow.
she had a good innings, and
Yeah.
she wasn't called Alfie, but she was a dog. And yeah, when she passed away, a few weeks afterwards, we were in the studio, and I said to Dottie, I was like, she was asking how I was, and I was like, it just feels like the last remnant of my childhood is like gone now. That was the
Mhm.
last thing that like connected me back to my childhood, like, the area that I grew up in, I don't live in anymore.
Mhm.
Friends that I had at school, I've sort of distanced myself from them for various reasons. So it's like this is kind of like the last thing. And then when she passed away, I said that to Dots, and she was like, "Well, I think we've got something that we can kind of utilize lyrically." And I think the lyrics that we have that eventually ended up on Alfie are really beautiful, with that sentiment of, grief and um, almost existentialism, but we are talking about a dog as well. So yeah, it is and it isn't.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And same kind of, for lyrics, Seabird, like I feel like, again, and I've tried to dabble in songwriting as I've gotten into this, and
Mm.
I just don't have the mind for it. But like, how do how do you come up with the lyrics, and like, typically for a song, like, especially with y'all's fraction approach, where it's, everyone kind of comes in and brings it all together
Mm.
later, like, lyrically, how does that kind of develop?
I think that's one of the best things about the setup that we have is that, you know we're all songwriters in our own respect, but we
Hmm.
don't necessarily, overstep the mark on each other's, well, not territory, but, I'm a lot more comfortable writing songs and looking at the sounds of things. Harry's a lot more comfortable looking at like the rhythm and the dynamics and where could this go and where could this go. And Dottie is, you know, the best musician that I've worked with, who can do melodies and top lines, and her lyrics are also just, pretty special. So yeah, when it comes to Seabird, I think there was, yeah, I think we were all in kind of different places in life, but
Hmm.
all in a weird way in a bit of a transient place. I'd moved out of the city. Dottie had moved away from London to Brighton on the seaside.
Sure.
So that was a new city for her, and I think I sent some demos to her, and she would put her headphones in and just walk around this new city, which is
Hmm.
obviously by the sea. And I think she got a little bit more in touch with like nature and the idea, even though it's a bit farcical, but the idea of like all these birds and all this nature and what we do to nature and sentient beings like birds, and yeah, it kind of just sort of snowballed from there. And then once we got Seabird down, it was like, actually there's a lot that we can explore within that theme. You know, like you said earlier, like Alfie's not just about a dog. It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
Seabird's not just about a bird. It is and it
Yeah.
isn't. There's a lot of kind of meaning and thought that's gone in behind it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And for you guys, keeping those meanings and themes throughout, even the other visual aspect. Again, the music video is something I often talk about on this show because it doesn't, when I grew up, and Saturday morning, I was sitting there watching pop-up video, MTV. Here's the
Yeah,
top
man.
10. Like, I've seen the Alien Ant Farm video where the guy leans over like this and doing Smooth Criminal about 5,000 times. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it seems like something that's now it's another just element of content that it's, pushed out for bands. But, you know,
Yeah,
for the Alfie video, like, I can now see it makes, when you give me the context of, what the song's about, her roller skating in the middle of the park there, like, it seems like
yeah,
it's, about kind of that childhood and, then it gets really trippy and then it comes back and,
yeah.
so like what, when you're making that, like, how do y'all come up with that idea? What's the kind of the genesis there? And
Yeah, I mean, we value music videos quite a lot, actually.
mhm,
I think that you're totally right. The music video has kind of been relegated to a point of other content. We can live with it, we can live without it. But as you said, my when I was growing up, it was Saturday, as you said, Saturday mornings, MTV2. That's what I
yeah,
would watch.
yeah,
And videos that really stick in your mind. Um, and maybe the song's shit, but the music video really kind of sticks
yeah,
in your mind. And we um we did our first EP. We had a couple of music videos that just sort of you know just accompanied the music, but didn't really kind of inform or tell a different story or anything like that. And we had a chap reach out to us before our second EP called Liam Beasley, who goes by Lim, and we had a couple of meetings with him, and he was just so passionate about film and short film and music videos, and he's a really, really gifted creative and a really gifted videographer. Sorry, filmmaker, not just videographer.
yeah,
But um, and yeah, so we tried a couple of things out on Aurelia. There was some themes that we wanted to get across, and some touch points that we were like, oh, it'd be cool if we did some more like horror style things. And we've just sort of stayed with Liam this whole time. But with Alfie and the next single that comes out later in March, we've kind of let Liam take the reins. And the song is the song. The song has its own meaning, but we kind of want our videos at the moment to be telling a similar story or a similar theme, but is just a completely different take on it. So we can come up with the idea of a video, and that's fine, but it'll always be intrinsically linked to the song. Whereas Liam can kind of go, "This is what I thought when I listened to that song." And
hmm
I think Alfie's a really good example of that. It's a pretty big undertaking to do a 8 minute short film,
yeah,
um, but we did it with an incredible performer called Lily Moss, um, and yeah, just sort of let them get on with it. And then when they sent it back to us, we were like, this is exactly kind of the feeling of the song. So yeah, so it's a really nice little partnership we've got with Lim. He's a top guy.
I love that. I love that. I love that it's like, hey, here's how I perceived it, and then whenever it kind of matched, whenever you guys saw it for the first time, the kind of the themes in the video.
Definitely, I think like and I've said this in some other press that we're doing, but like I've it's taken a long time for me to realize that me personally, I can't do everything. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I am not an artist in terms of like painting or visuals or anything like that. I'm not a filmmaker. It's much better to be like, here's someone that we trust who is an expert in that field. Um, let them experiment because that's where the best work comes out of.
yeah. I can imagine, like, as it seems like in when you start out a band, like you have to wear a ton of hats, right?
Mm,
And then you
mm.
have to have kind of that, like, you're in charge of everything. And then as you, kind of grow, it's like, all right, well, now I've got to, relinquish some of that in order to,
Yeah.
let let my part get better. I can go and
Yeah, yeah,
concentrate
yeah,
on my
yeah.
part, and then let everybody, everyone else do their part as well. So, it's kind of an
Yeah.
interesting dynamic to think about.
It's become almost to the point where it's become, I wouldn't say too easy, because you do graft and we do a lot of work on everything daily, but the point where you've got a team around you that you trust enough to be like, if there's an issue, that person will fix it, or that person will do that, or that person will do that. And that's not just creatively, that's like logistically as well, which, you
Yeah.
know, 90% of my time and the band's time at the moment is admin, just until we get out on tour. So, um, yeah, no, it's nice to relinquish that control. It feels quite freeing, just to focus on the bit that you enjoy the most and you're meant to do.
Yeah, certainly. Well, last thing, I want to kind of get in before we get a little bit more on the kind of touring side.
Mm,
You mentioned in an interview at some point, you said the last EP was us trying to be Deary. This
yeah,
EP is us being Deary. So I
yeah.
want to just hear your thoughts to kind of expound on that a little bit, and like, what's the differences, and how have transitioned from pretending to be Deary to
Yeah.
being Deary.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few facets to that. I think the first point is that Deary was made, um, initially as like a made up band thing.
Hmm.
Like I've been making music since I was like 12 years old. The last band that I was in just before COVID happened, we were sort of a bit directionless, didn't know what we were doing, and songwriting was between five of us, and it got a little bit fractious and stuff like that. And lockdown happened, and I was just at home with guitars and pedals and stuff. And I was like, I really, really want to make this band, this kind of gothy, lost 80s indie band, with a female vocal. Like, I'd love to just have a go at it. And so and then, everything kind of happened after that. But the essence of that always remained, which was like, um, we're trying to be this made up kind of band.
Hmm.
And after the first EP, second EP, you start getting your own personality, and you start getting your own, like, actually, this is our own thing, and it's made up of lots of different parts. It's not just me anymore. It's not just Dottie. It's Harry. It's management. It's label. It's Liam doing the video. It becomes, a lot more of a thing, and also the people who listen, the people who come to shows, and fans, basically, that adds a really incredible fourth dimension to it as well, which is, people actually want to hear this stuff and find some sort of joy or comfort in our music, which is great. And I don't know, I think we kind of let the reins loose a little bit on this record, in terms of not really giving a shit about what people think about us, and our music, but also being much more like confident in our artistry,
Hmm.
a lot more kind of like, you know, it would, in like, for example, it would take me like months to put a guitar track down or mix a track or anything like that, because I'd be like, no, that wasn't recorded right. I need this, I need this, I need this. And actually, that's all bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
You can be creative in any way possible, and in any medium, basically. Like, on this record, some of the guitars on Alfie was recorded in my bathroom next door, because
Yeah.
it's a little tiny bathroom, and I put some duvets and pillowcases in it, and then set a amp up, a couple of mics, and just recorded all, these guitars that are big and cavernous, and you think they're going to be recorded in this like big space, but they're just not. They're recorded wherever. Um, and I think that's my point when I'm saying that it's us being Deary. It's us being a little bit more true to who we are as people and who we are as artists, and it's just become a lot more sort of organic now.
Yeah. Did anything have to happen kind of outside wise, like any kind of, I don't want to say validation, but like, what had to happen to kind of build that confidence in being y'all's, self? Is it, success of the EPs? Is it, touring and getting some, like, okay, yeah, like we're a thing. Like this is a thing. We're going on tour. We're doing those things. So, like, what were there any factors like that that kind of played into
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I think it's it might not be a popular opinion, but I do think the validation does play quite a big part.
Yeah.
Obviously, we do music stuff because it's validation from ourselves first, and the only people that we want to impress is ourselves
Yeah.
with the music that we make. But when you do get someone coming up to you after a show and going, "That was fucking amazing," or all that, it does fuel it, and it does make you feel kind of like, oh, that's really good. So yeah, there is that kind of element of validation. But at the same time, um, for us to make this record, like I said, came from a fairly the seeds of it came from a fairly like dark place where we were all
Hmm.
in different mental spaces or whatever, and I think it was almost like a kind of catharsis, and it was therapy, and it was us trying to sort of make this music to battle all these other things as well. So yeah, there's a lot of factors at play, but it's always nice when someone turns up to your shows and
Yeah.
um, not necessarily sings along, but and not even dance along to our music. People mostly just sort of stand there with their eyes closed and go like that,
Yeah.
which is the most sincerest form of flattery for us,
Yeah. Yeah. They're vibing out. I call that
They're in
letting
their
the
own world.
music. I call that letting the music wash over me,
Yeah, man.
like a waterfall.
Totally fine. Yeah.
So. Well, speaking of the tour, and
Mm.
obviously I haven't had the pleasure to see you guys live, but what are the as you guys release the album April 3rd, what are the plans? Moving forward. There's some dates. UK dates,
Yeah.
America dates. Talk to me.
We have UK and European dates in May. We're also going on tour with Twilight Sad, which we're really excited about across the UK. We've literally just booked a second run of European shows in November, and
All
that's a little
right.
bit more extensive. So before this year, we only come to France, Netherlands, Italy once, but by the end of this year, we'll be in um, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Belgium. Yeah, so we're kind of going all over, and yeah, obviously the goal is to come out to the States at some point. Um, yeah, just got to keep sort of cracking on with it. Unfortunately, for bands like us that are still at a grassroots level, it's incredibly expensive to come out to the
Certainly.
States. Um, and with Mr. Trump in office as well, that makes it even harder for us. So it's kind of yeah, when the time is right, we'll be right out there.
Certainly. Certainly. So we got some European, you got UK and European dates in May, and then repeat that band again. Sorry, I can catch it. Twilight.
The Twilight Sad, so they're a Scottish band.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
uh, yeah, they're fucking great as well. So check them out.
Awesome. Awesome. We'll have to get the bird and fly over maybe, and come check out some of these dates
Definitely,
in
mate.
Europe and in Italy. But
Yes,
that's super exciting. I mean, for you guys, the touring part of it, you've probably been doing it for a while and have done it around UK. Like,
mm,
just give me a couple venues that stick out to you. If you're like, all right, I can't wait to get back to Leeds to go to that one
mm.
restaurant or pub. Like, give me something like that for
I mean,
for this
we
this
we
upcoming tour.
yeah, for sure. We're based in the south, so we're based in
Hmm.
like London and Brighton, and there's some venues in London and Brighton that very hold a very special place to our hearts. So the Lexington, which is in North London, so that's where we did our headline show for our last tour, which was great. But I think Manchester's a really really lovely city. My brother lives up in Manchester. Harry studied at University in Manchester. So there's some ties there, and we've done
Hmm.
a few shows there where people have been really, really lovely and really receptive. So we're going back there in May. Um, we're also playing Sheffield. We really like Sheffield, and we did do a show in Leeds. and Leeds was fun. We're also doing. I'm just going to keep naming cities now, but we also did. We're doing a venue in Glasgow with the Twilight Sad. We're
Oh,
supporting
cool.
them at a venue called Barrowland twice, which is a massive bucket list for me. Like I grew up on sort of Scottish indie bands like Jesus and Mary Chain and Orange Juice and
Yeah.
obviously the Cocktail Twins. So yeah, going up there is a little bit of a pilgrimage for me. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm getting my knowledge up a little bit of the venues, but again, if you haven't been there, hadn't lived there, it's kind of hard to understand the scene.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
Another band I believe I think they were also on y'all's label. Congratulations, they were telling me a
Yeah,
little bit about some of their experience. They're all from Brighton, where Ollie
Brighton. Yeah,
lives.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but very good. Well, excited to see what's next. The next single drops in you said sometime in March. So what's the date
Yeah.
for that? So we can make sure.
18th of March, and
All right,
the
three eighteen.
single's called Alma,
All right,
Alma.
Alma.
It's a
All
good one.
right, beautiful, beautiful. Well, excited to see those things coming, and as we dive into the hard hitting questions here of
Yeah,
Pete
man.
Peterson's party pack of questions, the rapid fire segment. You can answer as fast or as not fast as you want, but
I will
um,
answer as fast as I possibly can. Yeah, man.
and we'll rip into it here. But Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, 20 questions right in a row. Starting with you, Ben Easton, cake or pie? What do you prefer?
Fuck. Pie.
Pie. All right, it's pieing it
Pie.
up. All
Veggie.
right,
Pie.
salad or soup?
Soup.
Soup.
Definitely
Okay.
soup, man.
All right, and sunrise or sunset? What do you prefer?
Sun. Sunset, I think.
Sunset.
Yeah.
All right. All right, a little bit of an American question here, but
Okay.
home run or touchdown? What would you rather do?
Well, I can't abide by American football because you're not using your feet, man. So home run.
Home run. All right. All right. I respect it. All right. What are you having more of, a night in or a night out these days?
Night in, 100% night in.
Yeah. It's funny. I talk to people and they're like, yeah, like a night out is like when we're working, when we're on tour and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
you would think like artists, it's rock and roll. We're going out every night. It's like, no, we're we're staying in and hanging out.
Nah, man. Nah, man. Staying in, smoothies, healthy, and then when you're out on the road, it's just, takeaways and McDonald's and
Yeah.
pints every night.
I love it. I love it. All right. When you do go out and, I'll throw in a UK guy, maybe Fred again plays they play your favorite Fred again song. Are you more like to hit the robot or the worm on the dance floor?
Robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robot, definitely.
Got it. Okay. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
What? I'm a
Guac. All
sucker
right.
for avocados, man.
I love it. I love it. All right. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Pancakes. All right. Coffee or tea with your pancakes?
Oh, fuck. Because I'm British, I should say tea, shouldn't I? But I'm a coffee drinker, so yeah,
Yeah.
coffee.
Always trips the Brits up when I ask them
Yeah.
that. It's good.
Yeah, man.
All right. Dogs or cats? What do you prefer?
Dogs.
Dogs.
150, 200% dogs all day long.
Love it. All right. Are you more like a ninja or a pirate? Which one do you identify more with?
Ah, pirate. On account of my scurvy, pirates, man.
All right, we gotta get you some fruit then. Get the guy an orange. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Chips or pretzels? And the chips is in
Chips
crisps.
is in crisps.
Yeah.
Crisps. All day
Crisps
long
all
chips,
day.
yeah.
All
Yeah, man.
right. Now, chips, as in fries, chips or tots?
Fries, yeah.
Fries.
Chip.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, fries.
Chips. Awesome. All right. After a long day, TV show or movie to unwind.
Oh, so me and my partner watch a lot of true crime stuff,
Oh boy.
like documentaries and like series on that stuff. So I'm gonna say series, yeah. TV
Series.
show.
Awesome. Awesome. Are aliens real?
Yes. Yeah.
All
Yeah, but we don't know because we're the little people.
Fair enough. All right, this one's the one we've been trying out. It's if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?
If I was a fruit, what fruit would I be? An apple, but I need to specify that it would be like a nice sort of like crispy apple, not this
Okay.
mushy shit. Like
Okay.
a nice firm apple.
Okay. Like a gala, perhaps, or
Yeah, yeah, or jazz. Yeah,
a
yeah,
nicer,
definitely,
one
man.
one of the hybrid brands. We're not just going straight red apple. No one likes those actually.
Nah, man, pedigree apple is
Yeah.
what I would be.
The finest of the bred apples. I
That's the
love it.
one. Yeah.
All right. Is love at first sight real, Ben?
Yes, yes, I would say
All
so.
right. All right. And final question of Pete Peterson's Party Pack of Questions. You've mentioned Twilight Sad, so you can say them, but who are a couple of bands that we ought to check out that we might not know?
Um, a band that I've been getting into recently, they put a single out called 13A. They're a band called Goodbye, is what they're called. They're from Brighton. They're fucking awesome. There's another band from Brighton called Attic Omatic, and they're good friends with Dots, so they're well worth checking out.
All right.
Yeah, some good bands in the UK, man.
I love it. I love it. We got Goodbye and Attic Omatic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll have
All good.
to get in there and do some research. Get us, get it going. But
Mm.
Ben, I appreciate you taking the time. Everyone, check out and follow Deary on Spotify. That way, you can't miss wherever you stream your music and find it. April 3rd, the full album is out, and then Birding, which is on April 3rd, and then 318. Be on the lookout for their new single that is dropping. Alma, go stream Seabird, go stream Alfie. Go watch the music video. Look,
Yeah, man.
don't forget about the music video and all those things. But
It's a
Ben,
lost art form.
the lost art, I love it. But Ben, we appreciate you taking the time on this Saturday to get on with us, and look forward
No worries,
to
man. Thank
seeing
you.
seeing you guys make the trip over here at some point.
We will. Cheers, dude.
Cheers, thank you.